Scorsese and DiCaprio. Leo DiCaprio. They're starring again together in another movie. What's the runtime for the Marvels? It's 93 minutes long. Schlock. 93 minutes. An hour and a half. That is the reported runtime. Very short. But I think it's a sort of signifier of a good thing, not a bad thing. You could say it's an hour and a half long. That's a bad thing. I go the opposite way. I like to remain glass half full and say that the actors have got a creative vision. They've got the backstories out the way in the TV shows and previous movies. And we can then just get right into the story that we're telling. And that does not necessitate a long runtime. So they've kept it short. All frills, no something. I think they actually said the phrase, and I like the phrase. I'm going to go back to that article and read it. Described as, and I quote, all killer, no filler. That's good enough for me. I like the look of this film, man. I like the look of the script. I think it looks very interesting what they're doing with the characters, just the way they're constructing the story, and the fact the actual runtime's as short as it is. That's another Brucey bonus. Not every movie has to be 3 hours long in 2023. Although some of the directors out there would disagree. I have low expectations, so do I, mate. But I've seen the trailer. I actually wasn't looking forward to it. But I watched the trailer and I actually quite liked the trailer. I liked the vibe of the trailer. So it's kind of changed my mind a bit. But we'll find out when I actually go in and watch it. Because I've kind of renewed my love for Marvel after watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Really, really enjoyed that movie. And you know what? I like to talk shit about Marvel in these most recent phases. But when I actually break it down, I've seen Spider-Man No Way Home and I fucking loved it. I've seen Shang-Chi and I fucking loved it. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and I've loved it. Of the TV shows, I've loved WandaVision. I've loved Loki. I enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Moon Knight's might be very good. I've not seen it. I've not seen Miss Marvel. And I've not seen Secret Invasion, so I can't really speak about them. But they've actually got a decent hit rate for me. So I don't know why I'm chatting shit. I've yet to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Apparently it's not bad. It's not great. So I've got high hopes, low expectations, but high hopes for that movie. But yeah, DiCaprio, Scorsese, working together again. I find this a very interesting. Obviously, I was going to say companionship. It's not a companionship, is it? What would you say? A very interesting duo. That's the best I can come up with just now. That's the best I can come up with. I can't come up with anything better. Also, when these guys have worked together, there's usually magic ensued. I think of Shutter Island off the top of my head. Killers of the Flower Moon looks very interesting. FBI sort of stealing oil from the reserves. I think that's what you call them. Native American. What do you call the regions that they actually are given? They shouldn't be given. It's actually their land. But when America was obviously broken up into states, they were given a piece of land. Criminality, corruption, very intriguing. Looking forward to seeing it on a streamer. No less. But yeah, man, really looking forward to this. Look at that fucking shot. Brilliant. The actual synopsis is what wetted my whistle for this. I'm not going to lie. I just love the title as well. The wager, it's short and sweet. This is something that Scorsese's done. When I actually think about it, kept the titles of his movies pretty fucking succinct. Obviously, Killers of the Flower Moon that I've just mentioned, an example of not keeping things succinct, very long and fucking winded. But when you think about it, man, I mean, I'd have to bring up his actual filmography and think off the top of my head all the movies he's done. But over the years, I'm pretty damn sure, and I'm going to do that. Fuck it, I'm going to do that right now. Over the years, I'm pretty damn sure this guy's kept his movie titles very short. I may be talking pish. I sincerely hope I'm not. Martin Scorsese, hit me with it, bitch. Let's go. Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, The Irishman, Shutter Island, also The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm claiming that. That's succinct. Silence, Mean Streets. They're all pretty succinct. They're short and sweet, straight to the point. We're not getting into actual fucking prejudice. It doesn't matter. Needless to say, I like the title of the movie. Let's get back to the actual web capture here, and I'm going to break down the synopsis and why I think it's very exciting and why it's the perfect movie for DiCaprio. When I think of Leo, I think of all of the great movies he's done, you think of where he actually got his first Academy Award win, and it was a period piece with a bit of violence in there. A character who'd been tortured and went through the ring. I'm going to finish that word. Late, the ringer, the emotional ringer. This has got all the signs for that being the case for whatever character it is he's playing. I presume he'll be one of the people. Yeah, we'll read it and I'll get into it. Set in the 1740s, Wager's story is set in motion when a patched together boat with 30 emaciated men landed on the coast of Brazil. And it's based on David Grant's book, The Wager, a tale of shipwreck, mutiny and murder. I'm going to read that. I find this story very intriguing indeed. The men were the surviving crew of British... This is fucking butchered, horrendous English. Let's go back and I'll fill in the gaps, shall I? The men were the surviving crew of a British ship that was chasing a Spanish vessel and had crashed onto an island in South America's Patagonia region. Their tales of surviving the seas and elements made them heroes. However, 6 months later, another vessel, even more beat up than the first one, ended up on the coast of Chile. This one with 3 men. These new sailors charged that the other men were actually mutineers. Now, I think that's fascinating, man. You've got mystery, you've got suspense, you've got the whole lexicon of human emotion, the exhilaration, the elation of coming onto land after being potentially in the throes of death, marooned out in sea. You're a hero. You've got the world at your feet. People are celebrating you. You've been given a new lease of life. And then like a year later, some raggedy arse, 6 months later, a raggedy arse ship turns up on the coast and your whole world is turned upside down. You can just sense it, can't you? You can sense the cast. You can sense Scorsese working his magic on this movie. And Leo, no doubt, playing one of the... I don't even know what would he be on the first boat? And he's one of the sort of leaders of that who's led this mutiny? Or is he on the other boat and coming back from an even greater peril and another fucking horrendous situation and casting sort of accusatory sort of glances and words at these other guys? I don't know, man. I don't know who he would play, but I'm fucking excited to see Leo performing alongside Scorsese again. As I says, magic usually ensues when these two guys get together. It's period piece, man. It's about shipwrecks. What more do you want in your life? You know Shah Rukh Khan, I certainly do, Schlock. We watched Patan recently. First movie we've seen of Shah Rukh's. We're actually going to dive down his filmography once we can actually get back to putting content like that on the channel. And I'm looking forward to Jawan. I think it looks very intriguing. The trailers have got a whole host of shit going on in them. Really interesting sort of character. He seems to have multi-personalities going on. We spoke about the actual poster that was released the other day. It's like 5 different versions of the Shah Rukh character. It looks interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that movie as well. Shah Rukh's class. He's a brilliant guy, charismatic, incredible guy. Really sort of inspirational geezer. So yeah, I do know Shah Rukh. I think everyone knows Shah Rukh. Let's be honest. The world knows of Shah Rukh. Yeah, man, look, I grew up watching these sort of fucking movies. I loved even like the Master and Commander, the other side or the far side of the world. I love movies set in this period. It's a large part of why I love the Pirates movies. I know they're not going to be in the same ballpark as this. This is not going to be sort of fluffy, laugh a minute kind of movie with Johnny Depp playing his weird ass fucking overacted character at the centre of it. That's not what you're going to get. But the point I'm making is I love that period. I was always obsessed with the piracy period, the Caribbean, all of the shit that was going on. The fact there was these pish-stained geezers coming from Bristol and going over the other side of the world and creating chaos, and there was murder, there was all sorts going on. Tapping into that time period with such an illustrious director and bringing, for me, the greatest of his generation into that and having him performing it. I am sincerely looking forward to seeing what ensues.